transfer ready?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay. And who should read this? It's like I just have to make one phone call. Thank you.
They might have to change the input on this to
Oh,
HDMI. That's probably
oh, I have to change the input.
yeah on the TV.
Okay.
That should do.
What you say?
That should.
But then we got a witness on it too.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. You'll have to have that switched up. Because right now it's coming from here,
It's coming.
or it's coming off.
Can you talk to the judge? Yeah, hopefully. Judge, we need a little technical help. Can you help me out? This is Mr. Miller. He's from our office.
The TV would have to get input. The TV would have to get switched up to laptop in order to do that.
But
So I'm not sure if there's a way. I can try and do it for you, like. If they even give you that option.
right.
That's the only, that's not, that's the trouble.
Okay, so we might have to just use our devices.
Yeah, 'cause if you
If
switch
that's
it
okay
over,
with the court, I mean, you're okay with us just showing our evidence on our device instead of hooking it up?
Okay. Okay, thank you, Judge. Okay,
right there.
okay, thank you, Troy. All right, we're ready, Judge. Just wanted to see how we could get that going, but.
All right. 36th District Court is now in session with the Honorable Raeigen as presiding. While first in session, there will be no walking, talking, sleeping. One second. When your name is called, please give the court your full and undivided attention. Once again, good morning, Your Honor.
This is, you guys can be seated. This is the People versus Lula Rayford, ticket number ticket number B128338, count one, harboring two unlicensed dogs. Ticket number B128340, count one, failed to vaccinate two dogs for rabies or provide proof of vaccination against rabies. Ticket number B128341, harboring two dogs, which by loud frequent barking caused a public nuisance to neighbors. And then ticket number B128342, count one, failed to prevent two dogs from engaging in nuisance, menacing, or dangerous behavior. Good morning, please state your name for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tamika Horn, appearing on behalf of the people, P70303. Ms. Shani Simmons.
Field Manager Wilkerson, P 81003, on behalf of Ms. Rayford. Please stand and give your name.
Judge, can I have you to have everyone speak up loud because of the.
So yes, I don't know why. So again, everyone make sure they keep their voices up loud so we can all hear each other. Are there any pre-trial matters before we proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. The people, as Ms. Wilkerson just stated, we have decided to dismiss the licensing and rabies tickets. As it's my understanding is from our investigating officer here that Ms. Rayford is in compliance and that the dogs are licensed and they have their up-to-date rabies shots. And they are licensed in her name.
Okay, just so I'm clear, so that's B128338 and then the number ending in 340.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Wilkerson, you
No objection, we already discussed this, so it's not proceeding.
okay, so you stipulate the probable cause. All right, these matters are dismissed without prejudice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any other pre-trial matters?
Nothing further from the people.
Ms. Wilkerson?
Nothing further from the fence.
Okay, did you want to make an opening statement, Ms. Horn?
Yes, Your Honor, very briefly, the people are seeking to convict Ms. Lula Rayford in this matter under City Ordinance 6-1-7. The people are seeking a conviction, and that is as to any animal being declared a public nuisance. In addition, the people are seeking a conviction under City Code 6-1-3. Here, the people believe that the evidence will show that the dogs have been a nuisance in the neighborhood, and a nuisance to the public, a nuisance to the community here. In addition to that, the people are, the evidence will also show that this is a repeated situation, thereby making it a nuisance. In addition, people will be showing that there is menacing behavior on behalf of the dogs through their owner, Ms. Lula Rayford, the defendant in this matter. And there have been no efforts to discontinue this behavior by Ms. Lula Rayford. Thank you, Your Honor.
Can you hear? I'm about to call them.
I can hear about struggle.
Yeah, I'm going to call them. Once you're done. That's the last one. I guess the lady is loud, but, okay. All right, go ahead, Ms. Wilkerson, did you want to make an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor. In defense for Ms. Rayford, we intend that this trial will show that Ms. Rayford is not guilty of these crimes, Your Honor. This dispute is more so a neighbor dispute instead of a dispute about dogs. Ms. Rayford does try to resolve this issue. However, we believe the evidence will show that Ms. Simmons has in some ways provoked this actions by these dogs. She has engaged in behavior that made the dog do certain things in retaliation to what she is doing, Your Honor. So we believe the evidence will show that Ms. Rayford is not guilty of these crimes. Instead, Ms. Simmons has kind of caused these crimes on her own, and that these issues could have been resolved in another way, Your Honor. At the end of this evidence, we believe the trial court can find Ms. Rayford not guilty in this matter.
All right, Ms. Horn, you can call your first witness.
Yes, I'd like to call Ms. Simmons to the stand.
Ms. Simmons, you can come.
So Ms. Simmons, step this way.
Is this something that you
Okay. This is just a That's right where they live.
Stand right here, give you your coordinates. Speak up.
Charney Omega Simmons, CHARNEYOMEIKA. Simmons, SIMMONS.
You can turn around, face the judge.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Okay. Just make sure you keep your voice up. You can have a seat here. And you may proceed whenever you're ready, Ms. Martin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. Simmons. And Ms. Simmons, good morning. Thank you for coming today. Where are you currently employed?
On the grounds that I'm already being harassed at my house, I would not like to have my place of employment as a public record.
Understood. And what is your address?
8020 East Lance Street, LANT as in Tom says.
Oh, thank you. And where in proximity is your home to Ms. Rayford's home?
It is to the west of her home. We share a property line.
And how long have you lived there?
Since 1988,
And whom do you live with?
my mom,
And do you own a dog?
no,
And for the record, do you recognize the defendant?
yes,
And can you tell us what she's wearing?
she has on a gray plaid coat.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that this witness has identified the defendant.
The record shows some fact.
And were you living at the home on August 19th of 2022?
Yes,
And on that particular date, at approximately 10 a.m. in the morning,
yes.
on that particular date, what happened?
So there's a lot that's going on. It sounds like the incident where I was outside trying to garden, or maybe clean up the area around my air conditioning unit.
Okay, and as far as at your home, where were you located at that time?
That would be the backyard.
And what were you doing in the backyard?
Oh, picking up weeds from the backyard.
And at that time, what else was happening?
So dogs were out.
And whose dogs?
The defendant, her dogs were out, just, making general noise. I understand that dogs bark, that is the only voice that they have, but persistent, menacing, growling, that sort of thing is unnecessary, it's unacceptable.
And when you say menacing, how did the barking or the conduct of the dogs make you feel?
I'm scared. I mean, it's, I'm trying to clean up and I'm kind of afraid to turn my back sometimes on the house because I don't know if one time those barks are gonna be coming from inside of my yard.
And what physical actions was the dog, how many dogs were there?
So there are two. This particular instance, only one comes to mind. But this particular dog usually stands on its hind leg, the larger of the two. Both of them have done it, but on the hind legs, banging on the fence, growling, snarling, jumping, muzzle over the fence line.
Okay, and what color is this dog?
The larger dog is black with white markings, white flash on the face.
And if you, do you know anything about dogs?
A little bit.
And breeds specific?
Breed specifically, yes, it's pit bull, it's a pit bull mix.
And is that Miss Rayford's dog that you're speaking of?
Yes,
And how long did this behavior go on?
years, at least since 2020, prior to, but as you know, the world was different prior to 2020. So I was away from my home a little bit more at the actual office, but once I came home, 2020, I really, I experienced what my mom had been experiencing.
On this particular occasion, about how long did this activity with the dogs go on at this particular time?
the duration, I tried to wrap things up quick, so maybe, less than a half hour.
And why were you trying, less than a half an hour?
Mhm.
Okay. And why were you trying to wrap things up quick?
Because I don't, I mean, it's the noise, it's the fear factor. I don't know what's gonna happen, and if I'm not being accosted by the dogs, their owners are
And,
yelling at me about their dog's behavior.
how often do you use your backyard?
Oh, not unless I absolutely have to.
And why is that?
Because I don't know if the dog is gonna be outside. I usually try and wait until they take the dog inside. At one moment, at one point in time, the dog was out anywhere between 8 and 10 hours a day.
Okay.
So,
Miss, Simmons,
yes,
I know there's a lot you want to say,
Mhm.
but I really need you to listen really carefully to Ms. Warren's questions and only answer what's being asked.
gotcha, okay.
Thank you, Judge. Have you ever seen any of Ms. Rayford's dogs off her property?
Yes,
Can you estimate how many occasions?
a handful, less than 10.
And how long of a time span would you say that would be?
How long were they off the
Like,
property or?
The 10 times, about how long over the years?
Oh, over the last 2.
And you mentioned there's 2 dogs, correct?
Yes,
And what breed would you say the other dog is?
the smaller one would be like a Yorkshire Terrier mix.
And have you seen both those animals off Ms. Rayford's property?
Yes,
And have any of these animals wandered to your property?
yes,
And on how many occasions would you say?
I would say approximately 6.
Okay. And, Your Honor, and I've shown this to Ms. Wilkerson, we'd like to bring your attention to just a map of how the people live. Are you able to show that to the judge? I know it's hard. I can assist if you'd like, Your Honor.
I don't know, Ms. Wilson.
Oh, you can,
Oh,
it's the Google map. If you want.
This is the Google map, Your Honor. I would stipulate to that honestly.
Okay. Oh, I see. I got it. Yeah, thank you. The record shall reflect that the court has seen a Google map of the witnesses and the defendant's home.
And we also would like to show the court a video in which may reflect how the dog's behavior. You saw that one too this morning.
Can we, I guess, lay a little bit more foundation for this video?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Okay. And do you recall that video that we reviewed with Attorney Wilkerson this morning?
yes,
Okay. And that video, where's that video taken?
this video was taken, pardon me. This video was taken in my backyard. One of the angles kind of. What do you want me to?
It was taken in your backyard.
Yes.
Also, where did the video come from?
Oh, it came from my camera system on my garage.
Is this your home camera
This is
system?
my home camera system.
And how did you upload that to your computer?
Oh, there's a drive that connects all the cameras together, and there's a jump drive you can plug into it and download the video.
And you have access to this particular equipment,
I do,
and you own this equipment.
yes.
March 4th?
Yes.
Yes. And what date is that video? Thank you.
March 4th,
What year?
2023,
Okay. And so that was recently.
Saturday.
Okay. And to your knowledge, is Ms. Rayford, from our last hearings, is she under bond conditions?
That is my understanding.
And what are the conditions, as you know, of that bond?
From my understanding, the dogs were only supposed to be let out to go to the bathroom.
Can you show the court that particular video, please?
Ms. Wilkerson, you've seen this video.
I have seen it, Your Honor.
Is that the one with you shoveling?
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Simmons.
Yes.
In that video, were you outside?
Yes,
Who was that shoveling?
that is me.
And, how often does this behavior happen when you're in your yard?
Almost every time. There are very few absolutes. I can't say always, but almost every time.
How free do you feel to use your own yard?
Not free at all.
May the people would like to move exhibit 1 as the March 4th, 2023 video.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
On this particular date going back on August 19th, 2022, what did you do once you saw this, what you described as menacing behavior of the dog? What did you do after that?
Went back in.
Did you call anyone to assist you?
Well, I don't recall calling anyone.
How did you come in contact with animal control?
Well, I made calls prior to, starting in summer of 2020. I've been in contact with animal control, regarding the dog's behavior. The dog was out at 5 a.m.
Okay, and so the dog was out at 5 a.m. and you made a call to animal control.
regarding that. And other
Okay.
behaviors, yes.
And about what time was that the summer of 2020 you're mentioning? And what made you call animal control at that time when they were out at 5 a.m.?
So once so this behavior has been going on for some time, and so I started doing some research, and I realized that there are quiet time hours for animals.
Okay,
And
and so at that time, what was the dog or dogs, or was it one, or could you?
I only heard one dog.
Okay, and were these Miss Rayford's dog?
It was Miss Ray.
Where was the sound coming from?
The backyard,
And what kind of sound was it?
loud, persistent.
This testimony, I think we can
Could you-
stipulate that. I think we can stipulate that they're Ms. Rayford's dog. I think this testimony is kind of irrelevant as far as sound and where it's coming from.
Well, my response, Your Honor, is so that we can direct the attention to the owner of the dog, because the ordinance provides any owner. And so I just want to lay that foundation that it's Miss Rayford's not dogs, not some other dogs in there.
Sounds like Ms. Wilkerson is stipulating to that.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so, moving forward, and how long did this sound go on?
Well, I was awake before 5 a.m., so it happened for at least 5 minutes prior to me actually recording, because I realized it wasn't going to stop. So at least 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay, and since that June, not June, but summer 2020 incident, has this happened again?
They have been out, during quiet time.
And is the sound similar to what you experienced in, summer of 2020?
The incident I'm referring to happened in, November, actually happened in November 2020, but I've been in contact with them prior to that happening. Just for clarification.
Is there ongoing contact with animal control?
Yes,
And has there been any other contact with any other, city workers or, officers or anything like that?
yes, in October of 2020, at the direction of the, Block Club president, I was introduced to the NPO office at the 11th precinct, the
Okay.
neighborhood policing office.
And was that regarding Ms. Rayford's dogs?
That was regarding, the defendant, as a whole, including the Dawson.
Okay. Your Honor, the people would like to, also introduce, a video, and you mentioned earlier that the dogs wander off the property.
We do.
Have you seen them on your property?
Yes, I have.
Have you seen them off their property in general?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and where have you seen them other than just on your property?
I have seen them as far as the east corner heading east, which would be Terrell Inland. I've seen them across the street, address 8039, 8055, and the like, and they've had to retrieve the animals from across the street.
And were these animals leashed?
Sometimes they are, but they're not tethered to anything. But sometimes they do have a leash on, but it's not being held.
Okay, and so is that allowing them to move freely?
Yes,
And do you see Ms. Rayford around?
more often than not, no.
And, let's see. Your Honor, the people would like to introduce, just the video. And you see this one, the very short video I sent this to this week.
And you also want to show the other one related to that from CR334?
Probably not. I'm not sure why.
I would probably object to this video, Your Honor, just because I believe there's another video attached to it. If she's gonna show it, I believe she needs to show both of the videos.
Let's see. This one.
They showed the dog right at the kid came back and this famous was kind of yelling something at the kid.
This one.
Can you bring up the sound?
Turn it up. And make sure these are the two together. Okay, so I'll show them separately. They are in two separate. This one here. This one here.
That one and then the one that you showed me like.
Gotcha, okay. Okay, Your Honor. People would like to show a video, let's see. Make this work. I'm not sure. So, okay, and I want to bring this to your attention first before we show it to the court. You recall this video?
Yes, yes.
And when was that video taken?
September 15th, 2022.
All right. Okay, I'll show the court. And I've shown, let the record reflect, I've shown Ms. Wilkerson and now I'm showing the court. And just going on that, is this video also from your home footage
Yes,
that you spoke about earlier?
yes,
Is that your dog?
no,
And whose dog is that?
the defendants.
All right, we're going to move to. Yeah, I'm gonna show you another video before I show it to the court. Do you recognize this video?
Is it the second one?
Yeah, I'm used to using a mouse. So, hold on, I'm gonna have to excuse me, Your Honor. So I go back.
If you want it, I have it up on my iPhone, if it's easier for you to hold.
I think it'll be easier if you can, if you don't mind. I'm having a hard time clicking. Just push play, thank you. Okay, we just, let the record reflect, we just switched devices. Ms. Wilkerson's device is a little easier to use. So I'm gonna play this video for you. You recognize?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor. Yep, I just went straight to the end. I didn't touch it, see? This must not be right for you. Thank you, Ms. Wilkerson. Now, the video the two videos you watched, was that your property?
Yes,
And was that your property that the dogs that particular dog wandered on?
yes,
Does that dog have a name?
yes.
And what's that name?
Response to Teddy.
And is that the Yorkshire Terrier you mentioned earlier?
Yes,
And was that you speaking in that video?
yes.
And what did you say?
I said, get off my, I wanted to say a combination between get off my lawn and get out of my yard, but it came out, get off my yard.
Gotcha. And so you have a right to live there.
Yes,
And do you own that home?
yes,
And do you have a right to occupy that?
yes,
And you mentioned earlier you don't have any dogs.
that's correct. No dogs.
Okay, for now, no further questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Any cross examination?
Yes, Your Honor. If I may.
Or just one more question, Your Honor. And is all this in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Good morning, Ms. Simmons.
Alright.
You stated you stayed at this residence, you resided at this residence since 1988, correct?
Correct.
Did you ever move out and move back at some time?
I did.
Okay, and when did you move back?
Oh, there was a brief time I stayed in my grandfather's house, on the west side. I was there maybe 6 months or so, and I came back.
So you've been there the whole time since that, and what year was that?
Well, that was in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay, and you said you've had issues with the dog since 2020, correct?
Prior to actually, but 2020 is when, things just really escalate.
Okay, and you never tried actually going to Ms. Rayford and speaking to her about these dogs, correct?
Oh, we've spoken before. My mother's spoken to her before too, but I can't say that I can't speak to what my mom said, but we've had conversations before about a myriad of things, including the dogs.
And no resolution came about that, correct?
Correct.
At some point, you replaced the fence in your backyard, correct?
That is correct.
And what year did you replace the fence?
That would be in 2021.
2021,
Yes,
and you had issues with dogs prior to that, right?
yes,
And the fence that you replaced, it was a taller privacy fence, correct?
no, I had a privacy fence, up prior to.
Right, that's the
a
one that
while,
you
yeah,
replaced.
a wooden fence,
Yes.
and the metal fence was there. I replaced.
One second, I'm just gonna ask you another question,
Sure.
to guide you along.
Okay.
So there was a tall privacy wooden fence up first, correct?
Yes, in my
And you
yard.
replaced it with a shorter gated fence, correct?
No, that's not how that worked. That short gated
Okay.
fence was
No, it's
there.
fine, no, it's fine. So now there is currently a short gated fence up, correct?
A 4-foot fence or a 4-foot fence was
Okay.
replaced.
4-foot fence replaced the taller wooden privacy fence. So
That's not correct.
you,
That's being mischaracterized.
I'm sorry, I don't know what I mischaracterized. I
The
thought I
4-foot
heard
fence,
testimony.
the privacy fence that I had up was in addition to the 4-foot fence that came with the house.
Okay, so you just removed the taller privacy fence.
Yes,
Okay, sorry about that if I mischaracterized the testimony. I said it. And you removed that fence even though you had issues with these dogs prior, correct?
yes,
Okay.
So just so I'm clear, you had a wooden privacy fence, and then you removed that fence, and then you had a 4-foot fence installed.
that's actually, so there was a 4-foot fence.
It was already there.
It was already there.
So you just
I
removed
had
the privacy.
I had a privacy fence up, I removed that. Okay, I don't know if this.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, there's no question on the floor. So from the original, the date of the ticket happened August 19th, 2020, correct? And you had issues with these dogs at least since 2020 was your previous testimony, correct?
Correct.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just for the record, I think I need to say 2022. At some point you purchased a device that was supposed to silence dogs, correct?
Correct.
And this device, how long was the barking an issue before you purchased it? What year did you purchase the device?
I purchased the device in January of 2021. And I had issues. with
Sorry,
the-
there's no question. I'm
Oh,
just looking, I'm looking at the question for you right now. And with using this device, there's a training period in which the dog must get used to the device, correct?
Per the instructions, yes.
And per the instructions, did they give you a range on how long that training period will take?
approximately, I think it was something like maybe 60 days, but it also had a, like a clarifying, situation where it depends on the dog.
So it depends on how the dog takes to this device, correct?
Per the instructions.
And per the instructions, while the dog is getting used to this device, it could make the dog bark more, correct?
I do not recall seeing that.
But is that part of the reason that explained for the training period, that the dog has to get used to this noise, correct?
The dog has to get used to the noise. It did not clearly state to me that it would make the dog bark more.
Okay, and let me ask you, this device, it emits like a frequency that only a dog can hear, correct?
No, there are 2 settings on that device.
Thank you, that's gonna be my next question.
Yeah, there are 2
So let's
settings.
talk about those 2 settings. This device has 2 settings, correct?
Correct,
And one setting is an audio setting that people can hear, correct?
absolutely,
And another setting is a setting that only a dog can hear, correct?
correct,
And this setting that only a dog can hear is a loud frequency to the dog, correct?
correct.
Okay, so this would be something that could annoy a dog, is that fair to say? The loud frequency could annoy the dog?
Sure.
Okay, there have been incidents where you've had arguments with Ms. Rayford's children regarding a dog, correct?
Oh, her adult children, yes,
Okay, and, have the dogs been present while you were maybe arguing with Ms. Rayford's children?
sometimes. Her
Okay,
adult children, yes.
um,
I would assume.
Some of them,
she does have younger
She-
children,
she
Your Honor,
has
but
younger,
I was
and
just
then-
specifying any children,
okay.
just any of Ms. Rayford's children.
Yes, any of her.
And in that video that we saw earlier where the dog walked on your property, there was a point where Ms. Rayford's children did immediately call for the dog, correct?
Correct.
And at that point, did you say something back to her children after they called out for the dog?
To her children,
Yeah.
after her child said something to me, yes.
And what did you say?
Oh, there could have been, keep your dog off the lawn, the child, one of her children, threatened
Well,
to
I just
show,
want-
one of her children
One
threatened to
second,
show
I'm
me
just gonna
what.
present another question. We have to ask question by question.
Okay.
You can't just go on with the testimony.
So not
At
until
some
her child
point,
engaged me.
For a question, repeat your question.
At some point, did you yell out to Ms. Rayford's children, you better get the little bastard?
Get the little bastard? No. Get the little bastard?
Your Honor, I'd like to present this video. It's a video from the previous one where the dogs came and got the dog, and you can hear, I believe it's Ms. Simmons in the video yelling out to them in a kind of loud, maybe aggressive tone while the dogs are present.
I would object because I'm looking for relevance as to the communication with the adult children, as to how this affects the charges here as menacing, nuisance, barking.
It's relevant because as most people know, some people buy dogs as protection. A dog reacts to threats against its owner. If you threaten, harass, do something that the dog may feel is threatening, the dog will react to that because these are his owners. So if she's yelling at the kids and calling them bastards.
I'm like,
Yeah, I thought it was the same. It has- Ms. Simmons, are you familiar with this video? Is that your same front yard camera?
Yes.
Okay, and this shows September the 4th, 2022. Are you familiar with that date?
No, but.
Well, wait, before I turn this down, I wanna make sure this is the correct video. I'm gonna turn the volume on. Is that your voice in the video?
Yes,
Okay, and you're talking to Ms. Rayford's children when you were saying that, correct?
whomever was outside.
And at that time, that was when the dog came on your property, correct? And they called the dog back and you said, keep the little bastard over there?
That is my voice. Usually motherfucker is my word, so I didn't realize that, I said bastard. I was mistaken.
Okay, thank you. So you often have these interactions with Ms. Rayford and her children. Maybe, I believe you testified earlier, there's sometimes some yelling. So there has been times with yelling back and forth with you and the neighbors at times, correct?
Correct.
And the dogs may be present at that time.
Could be.
Okay. And there has been times where you have went outside to actually record the dog on your phone with your phone, you know, kind of like standing there recording in your backyard, correct?
Yes,
And the dog is actively barking at you then, correct?
correct,
But you're at the fence holding your phone in front of the dog, correct?
correct.
Okay. And then in the March 4th video that we saw earlier, where you were shoveling your grass, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, and is that when the dog was barking at you?
yes,
Okay, and was there a
Barking,
reason why you were
snarling,
shoveling your
pulling at the
grass?
yes, I shovel my grass. My, meter is in that fence, and
Okay,
I have cameras which cords and cables run underneath that snow, so I have to clear.
okay,
my
did you-
mom
well,
did
I'm
it,
gonna
I
stop
did
you,
it.
I'm gonna ask you another question. Did you have someone coming out to look at anything, do any maintenance on your property on that day or anything?
No, not at that time.
So you were just shoveling it just in case?
I was shoveling it just in case. I was
Okay.
clearing the snow from the cables that are running along the grass.
Okay,
Yes.
but the dog was out there while you were doing it, so the
Yes.
dog was kind of agitated that you were right there shoveling, correct?
I don't know what the dog was agitated by. It would appear that it would be a problem with me.
Okay, okay. And you stated you don't own a dog, correct?
That's correct.
So you don't really know how a dog's bathroom schedule will work, I'm guessing?
No,
Objection, Your Honor, that's speculative. All dogs are different. Some go.
I'm just saying from her knowledge, if she knows, she doesn't own a dog, so she may not know how bathroom schedule works.
She's already answered.
So there are times when a dog is outside, he could be outside to use the bathroom, correct?
correct.
And you wouldn't know if he was outside for a different reason, correct?
Would not know that.
Okay. And you stated earlier that you know the dog's name, correct?
I know what it responds to.
And you know that from hearing the dog being called by his owners, maybe?
Yes,
Okay. One second, Your Honor. Have there ever been an incident where the larger dog was on your property?
it has happened once or twice.
Okay, and did anything result from that? You weren't attacked or anything like that, correct?
No, I wasn't attacked.
Okay. Have you ever heard any other neighbors complain about the dogs being a problem?
I don't speak to my other neighbors, so I wouldn't know if they have an issue with the dog being on their property.
Okay, that's fair. I just wanted to know if you knew. I believe that's it. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
I just have, are there any more videos that we're gonna see?
I think we're gonna just go by, I would prefer to go by testimony at this point, because it's become kind of cumbersome.
Well, I do have just maybe at least one more short video. It's short, just to show that there's a point that the dog comes out with no bark. That's it. It's literally a short video, so that would be it. I don't have.
I have seen that video.
Okay, I guess I just asked because I do need to start at 12:30. And I was wondering if we could finish on Zoom.
Oh, yeah, so if we could just show that video today, then we can finish the rest on Zoom. It should be fine.
And I'll go through, this, redirect. You said you stated you replaced the fence in January of 2021?
No, I replaced it.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. So in 2021 though, you did have the fence replaced.
Yes,
And why did you have that fence replaced?
so, as previously stated, there's a original 4-foot fence.
Is that on your side?
It's the common fence.
Okay.
Common property line fence. So that was in place. I had, wooden privacy fence up.
Is that your fence on
That
your
was my
side?
fence, that was my fence on my side. Okay. Finally realized that a bush had grown through the wires of the chain link. I removed I had the privacy fence removed. And I saw that the stump was actually on my side of the property. So I had that fence replaced, not
So
just the section that was affected, but the entire street.
And so this is this 2021 chain link fence that's approximately 4 feet tall. I think we established the testimony. Is that brand new?
2021 July, it was installed.
Who paid for that?
I did.
And why did you pay for it?
Because when I realized that the bush had grown from my side of the fence, I rectified the situation.
Were you asked to rectify that situation?
No, I was not asked to.
And this is a shared fence line, correct?
It's a shared fence.
And you stated that you bought the dog silencer. The people will name that device from this point. The dog silencer in January of 2021.
Yes,
And why did you purchase that dog silencer?
because the dog had been persistently barking prior to that.
And as you stated, consistently, and we've established earlier in testimony, this, you started noticing this in summer of 2020.
Yes,
And so therefore, you're stating you bought that dog silencer in January of 2021
I
to try to
Yes.
resolve that issue.
should try to,
Okay, for you. Okay, got it. So that you could live in peace.
and not have to engage the neighbor.
You stated that it was shown in testimony and video that the dog had to get called off the property,
For the video.
off your property.
Correct.
And you stated previously too that this is a consistent, frequent.
That was not the first time, no.
And counsel asked you that you mentioned that you were in your backyard recording the dog. Why are you recording the dog?
Because whenever I'm asked what's happening, I'm constantly being asked for proof. So just to clarify, I let this stuff, when you see me on video in my yard, I don't dart out the house. I give it a moment because anything could happen.
Understood.
So
And one more thing on the maintenance issue. You mentioned that you've had maintenance done in the property, that's sometimes the reason why you shovel or whatever.
yes,
Have the dogs done anything when you've had maintenance by others done to your property?
yes, the people who come out to activate the sprinkler in-ground sprinkler system, the gentleman who installed the surveillance cameras from the Geek Squad, the air conditioner repairman.
And what's happening when they come out that you see or hear?
That I've seen, the dog is allowed to behave menacingly toward them. I have had to put myself between.
I don't know if she can testify that the dog is being menacing to someone else. That's kind of subjective, I believe.
I don't think it's subjective. I think that if someone does something in a menacing way, I think everybody could recognize it.
But she can't testify to how these people felt with this dog.
It appeared to be
They could
menacing
not
to
been
me.
bothered by the dog, Your Honor.
Okay, can she rephrase that?
Yes, I mean, I would
It
ask for
appeared
that.
to be menacing to me. That's
Understood.
why maintenance workers, when they're out there, I'm usually filming.
Understood. Thank you very much. Thank you, Your Honor.
I just, and I know you don't have to do this, but I'm just curious, why didn't you just put up another privacy?
I thought about that, and at the time, and it still could be true now, the price of wood was really expensive. It was easier to go with the chain fence and the 4 feet. I could have done 6 feet, but that was more expensive too.
Any questions based on the court's question?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Any questions based on the court's question?
Just one question. When the maintenance people came out, they've never been attacked by Ms. Rayford's dog or anything like that. The dog has never jumped upon anyone or tried to run upon anyone or anything like that, just barking. Is that correct? Your Honor?
I would object. But that's outside the scope of the court's question. The court asked, why did she place the wooden fence?
Oh, I thought she was asking, did we have rebuttal just from your previous
Yeah,
question?
so-
Because she did do redirect.
She did, and I usually don't allow a redirect, because it's her case.
I understand, Your Honor. I will withdraw the question. I still have time.
Thank you, counsel.
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
okay, so Ms. Simmons is now as a witness. Do you have any additional witnesses?
Just our, investigator here, Officer Chandler,
Okay, how long do you think her testimony?
who issued the ticket. I know it wasn't.
So, and then we got Cross too, so,
Right.
all right, why don't we, the video you wanted to present it during your case in chief?
Honestly, Your Honor, I'm very computer savvy, so I can do a share screen on
Oh.
Zoom. Like, I'm not really concerned about that. It's a short clip. I may not have to use it, but I want to save it, reserve it just in case.
Okay, let's do that. What, because I want to get this finished very soon, so. let me see. You can set that. Thank you. Thank you. I was looking for tomorrow, but I have a lot. Well, I have.
And then we would be so.
I could do tomorrow, but the only thing is I'm down here in person.
Oh, okay. Or. The A. That's that for you? Oh, I won't be here, but I have judgment, so the 9th and 10th, I won't be. Oh, what about the 14th? For me.
I'll take it. I'll just get covered.
Because we only have one trial. We don't have that much time. I can, so that's okay?
That's fine. If I have any issue, Judge, I'll let everyone, and I can probably get coverage for whatever other miscellaneous matters.
So what about, 10:30?
10:30, you sure, on March 14th?
Yeah, is that okay?
Yes.
Ms. Simmons, does that work for you?
On the 14th?
Yes.
And I would,
Okay.
at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. What did I say? That's at
10:30.
10:30.
I said 10:30.
10:30, okay.
Yes, 10:30, and we'll finish up on.
I have to engage you now. I'll let you guys know in an hour.
Anything further before we reset?
Nothing further this time, yeah.
Okay, all right, sounds good, guys. All right.
You know, we're gonna obtain, that's why we're doing it differently, because we can finish it off today. So, yes, so this time, we just had to come down to be able to show you. Have a good day, Your Honor. Have a good day, Mr. Kilway.
Okay, you too. Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna go get you in the hall.
Really quick, I'm waiting for you in the hall.
Oh, I was so bad, we had to stop, sorry. Found out, Ricky had, I think the doctor told her it was neurovirus.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
stomach, it's like a stomach too.
Yeah,
It only lasts like 1 to 3 days.
yeah, so that's why we were wondering why they sent her back to school. But I let her go home, she needed a mental health day.
My friend, Miss Celie Davis, that